Hello, my favorite CopperCube people. Long time no see. So, I have another video for you today, and this one would be on a pretty interesting topic. Um, so, over and over again, I play a lot of CopperCube games, and I see this issue that if you shoot an enemy in some sort of game, it's pretty hard to understand if you actually hit them or not. And in this one, we're trying to figure out how to fix it and how to make this response from an enemy, then it gets shot, guts gets freaking hell, gets shot a little bit more obvious, for the player. So first of all, what we're going to be doing is we're going to implement a paint state. We're going to see how it's possible to spawn the blood splatters, probably not animated for now, but you'll figure out how to animate it yourself, probably, if you're interested in that. And also how to play the positional sound. Probably this will be our scope for the video. I'm not sure how much of it I will manage to make because I'm sort of limited in time today. But anyway, let's just get into it and we'll see if we can at least do some of it. So first of all, let's prepare the scene. Remove the default cube, add the plane, the basic stuff. Let's just move this plane to the 0 position and this will be other ground. Let's add player camera, first person shooter camera. Let's also put it in 0, 0, 0 position and then move somewhere by the x-axis, for example. Move the vision here, save everything. Let's just add an enemy. This guy will do. Put in 0, 0, 0 position, move it here. And so this will be our enemy, the guy with which we're going to be shooting. For that reason, we also need to include the game behavior called game actor with health. And here for attack, we will have enemy, and also we will have players here. So this guy knows that he needs to attack our player. And so I think for now, this is the basic setup. Let's just save everything and see if everything's working. So we have our camera moving, we have our guy moving somewhere. It should be fine. That should be fine. Let's just talk a bit about what we're going to be doing. First of all, we need to introduce something that is paint state. Paint state in the game is basically when you hit an enemy for some time, enemy gets sort of frozen, so AI turns off, and the hit animation is playing. And this is also something that we're going to be doing here. I believe this guy actually have a hit animation, but on my testing, during my testing, I figured out that this hit animation doesn't really work because it's pretty weird actually. So if we just go here and this is how it looks. I don't think it's good. So what we're gonna do, we're going to set FPS to 10, and we also will set some other frames from example, from run state. 38 to 40. It's also weird, but at least that way we're going to understand that the correct animation plays. And also we are here not for looks, right? We're here for the functionality. We have 10 FPS, we have 2 frames, which means they both should be played within 400 milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's just turn off this annoying animation, change it to something else. Everything is ready, and let's go down to coding. Let's just copy a template. I'm going to call it enemy hit pain, high enemy pain state. And I'm also going to remove everything inside the template, so the name corresponds to the name of the file as CopperCubes requires. And also let's change it here. It will be enemy pain state on hit, so on. And let's just remove this default thing. I don't think we need it. So what we're doing next, first of all, in order to get this paint state, we're going to be utilizing the onFrame function. We will define, first of all, let's define the array, which we will call enemies in paint state which will include all the nodes of enemies which are currently hit, which are currently in the pain state. And second thing, we will require to basically do some actions with every node from this array. But first of all, let's just put it here. So this action, it will be executed, then the player got hit. We have the corresponding hook here. So if you go to behavior, game action, actor, there is like action on hit, which you can set up. And we will put it right there. But first, so what we're gonna do in this action? It's pretty simplistic. We just say that we have these enemies in pain state, and we're gonna push our node there. But not only our node, because we also need to know then node finishes the. So when the node exits from the pain state, so we will push node there, and also property called until. So this will be the date until our node is in pain state. After that date, it should be removed from the array, so it's not in the pain state anymore. And we're also going to register on frame function here. On frame event, it's called. We'll just register an anonymous function, which means this function doesn't have any name. And inside it, we'll say that for I equals 0, I less than enemies in pain state length, and I plus plus, we will say that our enemy is basically an element from this array, and we will say, so we have this properties date now, which, okay, so it will be date now. We also need to add some. So basically it's date now plus 400 milliseconds. Why 400? Because we have 2 frames and 10 FPS, which I believe should be 400 if I calculate it correctly, but whatever. So we will say that if, let's just do it like that. So we'll have now here, date now. If our now time is still less than until time, then enemy until, in that case, we're gonna do some actions with the node. And otherwise, we will just exit from the pain state. So regarding the actions, what we're going to be doing is we send AI command to enemy.node, and the AI command will be cancel. This command just cancels anything that the node currently does. The actor probably would be the correct way of saying it, but I mean, you get it. The other thing which we're going to say, we need to play the hit animation because it won't play itself. We will say set scene node property and enemy.node, and property would be animation, and animation will be hit. So it's called stand animation, and we will have so hit and stand. In case the entity exits this state, basically we remove it from enemies in pain state. We do it by calling splice and removing element at index I. Basically this one means that there is only one element which we remove. That way we will remove 2 elements starting with index I, but we only need one. And what we also going to do before removing it, we will set property animation to stand. That way, as soon as this animation hit animation ends, as soon as we exit the pain state, we'll start playing stand animation. So there is no like some unexpected animation issues or whatever. And I'm also thinking in order to get to be able to shoot, we also need to do some changes. But first of all, let's just reload all the extensions, all the plugins, and get our action here. So action on hit, scripted behavior, how have I called it? It will be whatever, enemy pain state on hit. And save, and we need to add 2 things basically. First of all, we need an ability for player to shoot. So let's say Let's just do it without any coding. So we just simply push with key pressed and left mouse. We will say that we're going to shoot 10 direct. Okay, everything should work. And other thing I would probably like to show mouse cursor. I don't really remember how the command set cursor visible to true. So we know where we shoot. And if we shoot our target now, as you can see, walk, it goes into pain state for some time, and after that it starts patrolling as it was before. It also should work in case there is more complex behavior, which, for example, if our enemy shoots the player. For that, let's just go to player, and we will assign game game actor behavior to it. And also let's just set up the text properly. So this will be player, this doesn't matter. And let's see. So now if he shoots, I shoot him back. He starts playing this, like lovely animation. So basically this is the pain state. If you want to make this pain state longer, you just modify this variable. But in my case, it's just based on how long the animation is. Probably. If I calculate it properly, I'm not quite sure. So this was the first super basic thing that we can do. And let's just maybe go to the next thing, which is plain sound. I have this nice grunt sound I downloaded from freesounds.org. So it's called Free Sounds. The site is called Free Sounds. I'm not quite sure what the domain is, but the issue is it's pretty simple to play sound in case basically you are. Does it actually matter? I mean, there's a simple way to play a sound, right? And the simple way would be that you're just playing the 2D sound, which plays right in your ears. But playing 3D sound is a little bit more tricky, and this is also something that we are gonna be doing. I think there are also a couple of ways of doing it, and we will just do it the way I came up right now. Before I wanted to do it differently, but let's just do it as I think it will be better. So we will add a 3D sound, which will just play nothing. Let's just put it underground. So which is something I do with all the nodes I clone. I'm not using as, so which I use as a base node to be cloned and then to be used in the game, but not to be used directly. And I will call it SFX hit, and there will be file name, mm, where is it? This one, I think. I'm really sorry if it's too loud. It might be too loud, I don't know. But you got the idea. I will also make it a little bit not that loud. So what we're gonna be doing on this hit, we're gonna basically set the position of this SFX hit in the position of our enemy, and we will change the play to play once, play mode to play once. This is all what we do. I think it's actually should be possible to do that without really coding something by just setting up the proper action. So if you have like no action on attack or action on hit, you can probably just clone the scene node. But I mean, the issue is how you remove it. Let's just do it for the code once again. So first of all, we need the reference to our. No, we don't need the reference. Let's just first of all we just define SFX hit node. We just get it by name, node from name, and it will be SFX hit. I think I called it that way. The next thing which we are going to be doing is we cloning this. So we say SFX clone would be clone scene node, and this will be SFX hit. We also going to find player position, current position, so it will be CCbGetSceneNodeProperty node position, and we're going to set this SFX clone to that position. So basically move a clone to that position. So we will set scene node property SFX clone to position of current position of player. You can also do like position y plus something if you want the sound to be coming from somewhere the enemy's head is, instead of like coming from the floor. Let's just update it here really quick, so it will be plus equals maybe 10 or something like that. And we will also set scene node property SFX clone. We will say play mode. I don't think I have the preview for that, and we'll say to play once. Let me just check it's correct. So if you just go SFX, and we will have a play mode here, and it says play once. Does it play once for me also? Yes. And we will also add the SFX node here, and this will be our SFX clone. So now I think it should work, but there is also another thing which we need to do, and this is we need to remove this cloned node because we don't need it anymore after our paint state ended. So here inside this like little else condition, we will also say that we need to ccb remove scene node, and it will be enemy SFX. Should be might be SFX hit or whatever, but I mean naming because it's not best here. Let's just see if it works. Well, it works quite okay. If we remove further, you can hear how the sound gets quieter because the target is further from us. So this was pretty easy, as you can see. Let's just make another thing. So the last thing I wanted to do is this hit marker. I usually call it that way. So basically the blood splatters. I'm not doing the animated version right now. I actually don't quite remember how I even implemented it, but whatever, we will figure it out. So first of all, what I think we need to do is you can actually do it in different ways, just little remark. You can use particle system, for example, or you can use the existing 2D animation solutions. Basically, there are multiple ways of doing it, but I'm just doing it with with simple billboard, and it won't be animated. So I'm adding these blood splatters here. Let's just go to material. I think it looks just gorgeous. Oh, these are the words I know. Gorgeous. Nice one. And I don't know, like if we need to do, what the hell? You just need to make it a little bit slower, a little bit smaller. Let's just move it in the player position, so it will be 0, 0. Why is it 1? 0, 0, 0. Oh, it's not the player position, I mean into the enemy position. And we'll see how big it is. So it's pretty big, but I think maybe let's just do it a little bit smaller. So 7 to 7, maybe something like that. Also, the issue is that sometimes you cannot see it because it's inside the body. There are also some ways to fix it, but I mean, it's just, we're doing indie game development here, so just deal with it. The most obvious way would be like some vector thing, so you can just move it in the direction where the player is standing. It's also not that hard to do, but we're not doing it right now. So this will be our billboard, as you might guess. It also will be under the sea level, and we will call it a fix hit. And the idea is that it should be spawned, and then it should be removed after some time. We could probably do it the same way as we did the sound effects, but as usual in CopperCube, there is an issue with that. So basically, the issue is the following. Actually, not a big issue. We can figure out it. We can work out it from the code, but we won't. Basically, the issue is that here inside our heat, in case you are placing some sort of like change position of the scene node, if you change this position of the scene node, and in case you are making this action, there is an option for you to change the position of the last bullet impact, which is something that you are not able to do from the code. And in order to place with our like blood thing in the correct place, we will have to use this action, which is right here. So there are a couple of ways how you can do it. The first one would be to just clone it and place it using this known code approach, which is obviously not something that we're doing. And the other option would be to use this to pass it inside this enemy paint state on hit action, which is something that we probably are going to be doing. So let's just see if it will work. So first of all, there was a little property information here which I removed. Let's bring it back. Let's call it move clone move blood splatter clone, and it will be an action. Action, yes, it's called, yes, action. So what we're going to be doing here is pretty much the same as with sound. So this is sound effects. This will be blood effects. First of all, we already know the node position, which is great, which we don't need actually, because we are going to be using this splatter clone thing. So first of all, we're doing it pretty much the same way. First of all, we just effects hit blood effects blood. Let's say we will just say that we scene node from name, and we called it, how have I called it? FX hit. Yeah, FX SFX. It's just to make it little bit more confusion. And what we're going to be doing is pretty much the same. We will just say FX clone blood FX blood clone. Yes, the naming is super terrible today. Clone scene node, and it will be FX blood. And the next thing you should going to be doing is we need to invoke this action, and we will actually pass this node as a property. So we know that we are executing this action on the blood splatter node. So let's do just that. Let's say invoke action, and we will say this move blood splatter clone, and we will send fix blood clone there. And also, same as with the sounds, we will just do blood effects property here, and we will set blood clone there. And same way as with SFX, we will also remove blood effects. And now it should be working. If not, if it's already set up, but it's not already set up. And the issue is that, as you can see, even though we added property here and we saved everything, and everything seems to be cozy and fine, it's not showing out there. In order to be showed, we need to remove our enemy state once again, go to plugins, reload, and now if we just add it back, scripted behavior, enemy paint state on hit, we can see that there is like move blood splatter clone. And here we will just say that we need to change position of the seed node We will say the current scene node, even though it's not the current scene node, but I think it should work. Let's see if it works or not. And we will say set relative to last bullet impact. And that's it. So as you can see now, when we hit the guy, it says, there's a blood splat or whatever. That's nice. Array song. Well, that's nice, but it still looks a little bit ugly. So maybe what we can do also is we can animate it a little bit, and we can probably just change the size of our blood splatter node every frame. So yeah, why not actually? Let's just do it the following way. Let's just set our FX size to 0 by default. Oops, not 9, but to 0 by default. It couldn't be 0, could it? It could not be 0, it could be only 1, but okay, 1 will also do. And we will increase this width every time on every frame by maybe some value. We will also require the delta time for it to be working properly, but I mean, whatever. So what we're gonna be doing here is also if enemy is in a pain state. So here we will say that we're going to change the size of our blood splatter, and if the size is greater than some value, we will just hide it, and then it will be removed right here. This is something that we're going to be doing. Is it the proper way to say something that we're going to be yeah, I think so. So anyway, so size, since height and width will be pretty much the same, I can only get one property, so it's like we'll call it blood size, and it will be get scene node property. We will say enemy. I'll copy. It will be faster, and we will say height. We will say height. Is it a thing? Yes, it's height. And we will increment this blood size by 0. Maybe 1, 0.2, whatever, 0.5. No, it will be too fast. 0.2. Let's just see how it works. And we will say that now we are going to set scene node property enemy depth and me blood effects height. It will be blood size, and we will do same with width. And if blood size is greater than 9, we will just set scene node property enemy blood effects visible to false. So we will just hide it. It's like a really crappy way to animate this, but so you got the idea. So now it's just becomes a little bit bigger, and then it just disappears, and the speed is just too slow, I think. Let's just maybe make it 0.5, 0.7, I don't know, whatever. So now if you shoot the guy, there's a blood splatter, there is a pain state, and all the stuff. The only other thing which I know how to do, but I'm not doing it today because I already thought I will probably mess everything up a couple of times. He's dead now. A couple of times. The only other thing I know how to do is knockback, but I think at this point you got the idea, and probably this is something that you can also figure out yourself. And also, it's once again, this short video is freaking half of an hour long. I'll just wait another 10 seconds. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. and I'm waiting for 10 seconds, so it will be exactly 30